Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Meetinghouse of Provincetown, where we affirm the inherent worthiness and dignity of every person and where we support each other on our spiritual search for truth and meaning. My name is Betsy Simmons. I'm part of the worship committee, and I'll be your worship host today. Welcome to those in the room, and welcome to those visiting online. This morning, we welcome to our pulpit Leigh Burroughs. Leigh is a well-known, well-loved. Leigh is a member of the worship committee and a sixth grade teacher. Thank you so much for sharing your message with us this morning. Before we go on with our service, I have a few announcements. First, thank you to everyone who came to help with Drag Bingo on Wednesday. I wasn't here, but I heard it was a blast, wonderful event. We had to move inside because of the rain, but we didn't let it dampen our spirits. Tonight, Great Music at 5 concert is entitled Fantasy and Romance, Sounds That Take You Away, with the Red Door Chamber Music Group. We hope you can come back for that at 5. On Friday night, September 5th, we hope you will join us here in the sanctuary for our annual Celebration of Life concert. Many of the performers in town will be here to share a song or act with us at this free community celebration the night before the Swim for Life. On Sunday, September 7th, we'll be celebrating water communion here at the Meetinghouse. Please start gathering small amounts of water from someplace special to you. We'll then pool all that water together and use it to do blessings throughout the year. It's a beautiful participatory service. And today, we hope you'll stop at our action table at coffee hour downstairs. Each week, we're trying to offer one action you can take to support the UU values in the world. At this morning's table, you'll find Empathy Now buttons, which some of us got last week, to wear as a reminder that we all have the moral imaginations to feel connected to the plight of others. Thank you to Claire for these buttons. And finally, if you're here in person today, we hope you'll stick around for coffee hour conversation downstairs in Acker Bosworth Hall. And now, let's take a moment to affirm our community covenant. You can find this on the little purple cards, or you can listen to me and I'll say it line by line. Love is the spirit of this meeting house.
Love is the spirit of this meeting house.
This is our great covenant.
This is our great covenant.
To dwell together in peace.
To dwell together in peace.
To seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And now, as we light the chalice here in the sanctuary, invite those of you at home to light a candle where you are so we can feel connected even if we are apart. I invite Leigh and Jan to light our chalice for us.
We light this chalice to honor the light within each of us, the light that guides us through darkness, the persistent flame that refuses to be extinguished even in the strongest winds of change. And now I invite you to join me in singing our opening hymn, number 42, Morning So Fair to See. That's number 42 in the gray hymnal. Morning so fair to see. Please rise as you are able.
Praise
Good morning. I'm so honored to be here celebrating with all of you today. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you this morning. I invite you now into a time of meditation and prayer. During this time, or at any time during the service, you're welcome to light a silent candle at the table to the right of the pulpit, where there is a journal to record your thoughts and prayers. After our prayer, we will sing together Spirit of Life, hymn 123, which is also printed on the purple laminated cards in your pews. We'll sing first in English and then in Spanish. This morning's prayer is, I will rise. I will rise after every fall. I will rise and stand tall. I will rise over the wall. I will rise above them all. Like the sun which never dies, though sets every night, every day it does rise. Like the ocean whose tides, many times they are down, but invariably they rise. Like the trees from seeds they arise, and heights great they rise and rise, after falling once, twice, or thrice, again and again, I will rise and rise. I will rise after every fall. After every fall, I will rise.
Our first reading this morning is called Persistence by Matthew Holloway. Be persistent like water. Have patience. Find a way. Even if it takes days, weeks, months, even if years pass you by, stay the course. Keep going. Be like water. Water always finds a way. Change, adapt, yet remain. Rivers change their course. But they're still rivers. Water fills a bowl and is still water. It's a worn metaphor, but one I think still works. Be persistent. Don't give up. Let it flow through you. Let it wash away any doubt. Be patient, always patient. Even in the hardest of times, be like water. Find a way. Be persistent.
For our time for all ages, if we have any children in the room, which I don't see any, you're welcome to come join me. And we're going to be hearing the story this morning of the tortoise and the hare. Thank you for joining me. I love it. Welcome. I love this. A hare was making fun of a tortoise one day for being so slow. "Do you ever get anywhere?" he asked and laughed and smiled. "Yes," replied the tortoise, "I get there sooner than you think." The hare didn't believe her. After all, the tortoise had a large shell on her back. It was big and heavy, and his legs were short. "I'm twice as fast as you," said the hare. "You think so, huh?" said the tortoise. "Let's have a race and find out." "Ha!" the hare laughed. "You want to have a race against me? If you really want to, then let's do it. This is going to be a joke." "Say what you want, but at the end of the day, I will come in first," said the tortoise. So the hare and the tortoise agreed to run 1 kilometer. They asked the fox to be the judge. The fox announced, 3, 2, 1, go! And off the hare sped, and the tortoise just kind of went along, slowly, 1 step at a time. After running for a while, the hare got bored. He felt bad because he had challenged the tortoise to this race, and everyone knows that tortoises are one of the slowest animals in the world. But to keep things interesting, he sat down under a tree to take a nap while the tortoise would catch up. The tortoise was slow, as tortoises are, and little by little the tortoise ran down the road at a slow and steady pace, and she kept her speed even, and after 10 minutes, she passed the tree where the hare was sleeping. The tortoise was focused on the race, though, and she didn't even see him sleeping there. 5 minutes later, the tortoise crossed the finish line. "Congratulations," said the fox. "You are the winner." Right then, the hare came running up the road. He woke up from his nap, but it was too late. The fastest runner does not always win the race. And I have a little tortoise. Yes, you need your toys, kids. No. Well, now I did. It is a turtle. Thank you very much. Now you may return to your seat. Yes.
Thank you, kids. Now is the time in our service where we take a collection for the ongoing support of this meeting house and our shared ministry. As we enjoy a musical reflection by the choir, we welcome your donations here in the sanctuary and online through PayPal or Venmo. That information is on those purple cards in the pews. May I ask 3 volunteers to come up to take our collection on and off site? Your offerings will now be gratefully received. Thank you.
When I was in first grade, I had the opportunity to be the tortoise in the Tortoise in the Hare rendition first grade play. So excited. I got to wear this really big, beautiful shell, and I was practice my lines every night. I was going to read them from a piece of paper, and I practiced over and over again, and the big night came, and I didn't have any pockets. So I stuck the piece of paper that had my lines on it in my knee sock. And then when it came time for me to recite my lines, I proudly took them out of my sock, only to be presented with a ripple of laughter throughout the packed audience. I was devastated. I cried. I ran off the stage and into my mother's lap. And she let me cry for a moment. But eventually she convinced me to get up and try again. And so I did. I mustered up the confidence to get back up. I delivered my lines flawlessly, and I was so proud of my success at the end. I recently came across a fascinating real-life tortoise and hare story. It happened in Australia in 1983. There was this 875-kilometer endurance running race from Sydney to Melbourne. And at the time, it was the world's longest and toughest race. Only the most elite athletes participated. Most of them were around 30 years old. The athletes who participated trained aggressively, had top-of-the-line professional equipment, and a full-on support team that helped them leading up to the race and during. It typically took 5 to 7 days to complete. On this day, a 61-year-old sheep farmer named Cliff Young showed up by himself, no backup crew, wearing only his overalls and his gumboots. No one paid any attention to him. They just assumed he was there as a spectator. When Cliff walked up to the registration table to get his number, people were in awe. He joined the 150 world-class athletes at the start of the race. He pinned his number 64 to his overalls and joined the rest of the runners ready to start. A reporter approached him and said, "You cannot run dressed like that and without any support." And Cliff responded, "Yeah, I can. I grew up on a farm. We couldn't afford horses or four-wheel drives. And the whole time I was growing up, whenever the storms would roll in, I'd have to go and round up the sheep. 2,000 sheep on 2,000 acres. Sometimes it would take me 2 or 3 days nonstop. It took a long time, but I caught them all. So, you see, I believe I can run this race. It's only 2 more days than I'm used to." When the race started, Cliff was quickly left behind. He set off in his gumboots, and his technique was viewed as all wrong. He traipsed along in a leisurely shuffle. He didn't wear his dentures because they rattled in his mouth when he ran. All over Australia, people began to watch the live telecast of this race, and they prayed that someone would stop this poor, crazy man before he got hurt, or even worse, died. Most of the competitors took the strategy of running 18 hours and then sleeping for 6. Cliff did not know that's what most people did. In fact, he thought sleeping wasn't allowed. So, Cliff ran for 5 days, slow and steady, and eventually he passed all the other runners and won the race. He beat them by 10 hours and beat the previous record by 9. I teach 6th grade math, and one of the activities that the students do is called a simulation trainer. The students are presented with a problem that they need to solve. If they get it correct, they earn a green dot. If they get it incorrect, no problem. There's a video. It explains step by step how to solve the problem, and it gives them the answer. The goal is to get 4 green dots. It doesn't matter how many they get wrong, as long as they get 4 correct. Seems simple, yes? Except if they get one wrong, they lose a green dot. So, even if they get the answer from the video and then put that in and earn their green dot, they need to know how to get the next problem correct so as not to lose it. The students learn that they actually have to pay attention to the explanation and understand how to do the problem so that they can then successfully solve the next one. They learn the importance of taking their time and checking their work. They're learning to be persistent. And that persistence takes time and patience and will ultimately lead to success. When they first experience this activity, they get very frustrated. But over time, I begin to hear them say things like, "Okay, I can do this. It's all right. Slow down. I really want to make sure I understand this before attempting the next problem." And once they have successfully earned all of their green dots, they then are encouraged to help other students earn theirs. When what starts out as an individual task turns into a group effort of making sure that all the students in the class are successful. Emma Gatewood was born in 1887 and suffered years of abuse and poverty. The outdoors were her refuge. In the early 1950s, she read an article in an old National Geographic about this Appalachian Trail. The description and the photographs captivated her and made it sound easy to do. It said, you just need normal good health and no special skills or training. So at the age of 67, she set out to try it. Well, she got lost. She broke her glasses. She ran out of food. And eventually the rangers convinced her to go home. But she was determined to do this. So the following year, she told her grown children, "I'm going for that walk." Because the National Geographic article gave the impression that it was easy and there were clean cabins at night, she didn't take any gear. She didn't have a tent or a sleeping bag. She wore her canvas keds and carried a small notebook, some clothes and food, and a handmade denim bag slung over her shoulder. When she couldn't find shelter, she slept on a pile of leaves. When she ran out of food, she ate berries. 147 days later, she had walked the entire Appalachian Trail, and she was the first solo female to do so. Upon completing, she announced, "I did it. I said I'd do it, and I did it." Her story became a book called Grandma Gatewood's Walk by Ben Montgomery, which brought attention to the poor conditions of the trails that led to the improvements, eventually saving the Appalachian Trail. In the book Master Slave by Elian Wu, the true story of Ellen and William Craft is chronicled. Ellen was born a slave in Georgia, and her father was the man who owned her mother. She was frequently mistaken as part of her master's family due to her light skin tone. The plantain mistress was annoyed by this, so she gave her away to her half-sister as a wedding present. There she fell in love with and married another slave named William. They wanted to have a family of their own, but had both witnessed brutal family separations, and they were worried that their children would be taken from them. So in a daring attempt to find their freedom, Ellen pretended to be a white man traveling with her slave, who was her husband. Because she wasn't allowed to learn to read or write, she put her arm in a sling so she wouldn't have to sign anything. They traveled for 4 harrowing days under the guise of master and slave. The journey was fraught by narrow escapes and terrifying moments that they were to be discovered. They did eventually make it to Philadelphia and to their freedom. And there they learned to read, had 5 children of their own, and established a school in Georgia for newly freed slaves. In Melissa Hastings' article, The Power of Persistence, she says, The adage, the hardest times often lead to the greatest moments, rings true as a testament to the power of persistence. It is during these trying moments that individuals are truly tested. And it is through perseverance that we emerge stronger and more resilient than before. Tough situations, rather than being obstacles, serve as crucibles for personal development. They demand courage, determination, and unwavering resolve. It is in facing adversity head-on that one discovers the depths of their own strengths and resilience. True strength is not measured by the absence of failure, but by the ability to persist despite it. She goes on to say that in the face of setbacks and obstacles, all have chosen perseverance over resignation, determination over despair. It is important to recognize that victory does not always belong to the strongest or to the most talented, but to those who refuse to surrender. Theirs is a triumph born out of sheer tenacity and an unyielding belief in themselves and in their ability. In essence, the power of persistence lies in the ability to transform challenges into opportunities, setbacks into stepping stones, and failures into lessons learned. It's a reminder that no matter how difficult the journey may seem, perseverance will always lead to growth, resilience, and ultimately triumph. I'm reminded of a quote by Albert Einstein that a fellow math teacher had hanging in her room. It said, "It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stayed with the problem longer." Persistence quietly underlies so much of our work as Unitarian Universalists. Persistence, that steady determination that carries us forward when the path grows difficult, when results are slow to manifest, when the doubt creeps in. Robert Frost said, "The best way out is through." As Unitarian Universalists, we do not merely endure, we persist with purpose, with vision, with commitment. We affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person, but this affirmation is not a one-time declaration. It is a persistent principle that we encounter with those whose views challenge us, whose backgrounds differ from ours, whose very presence might make us uncomfortable. We are called and challenged to persist in recognizing their humanity. Civil rights leader John Lewis spoke of good trouble, necessary trouble, a consistent persistence to dignity that doesn't retreat when challenged. We are also called to justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Justice work is persistence embodied. Dr. King said, "The arc of the moral universe may bend toward justice, but it does not bend on its own. It requires our persistent pulling and refusal to let go." Consider the suffragists who picketed the White House for nearly 3 years before women gained the right to vote, or the decades-long struggle for marriage equality. These were not momentary efforts, but persistent, cumulative commitments spanning across generations. The important things take time. We are a community strengthened by the persistence of its individuals. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The years teach much, which the days never know." It is the accumulation of days into years that finally yields wisdom. We do not always see the impact of our efforts, but it is not in vain, because it is because of these efforts that the impact is eventually made. When we are feeling frustrated with the lack of progress, or how slow it feels sometimes, or if we don't feel like what we're doing is enough, Think of the tortoise, of Cliff, of Emma and Ellen and William. It takes time and patience and persistence. We are making a difference, and it will be revealed in time. It can be hard. The good news is we do not have to do it alone. You see, all these people had help along the way. I had my mom. My students have each other. Cliff and Emma and Ellen and William all had people who helped them in big ways and small along the way. Sometimes our efforts are building blocks for something greater down the road. While we may not always see the results as quickly as we would like, and in some cases not at all, it doesn't make them any less important. This reminds me of the beautiful cathedrals and castles that I have had the honor of visiting. When I learn that they take 100 or 200 years to build, I think of the people who started, who never get to see the final product. I suppose in some ways it's a matter of perspective, really. There's a parable about a man who's walking down the street and comes upon 3 stonecutters. Curious, he asked the first one, "What are you doing?" "I'm earning a paycheck," he said. He came to the second man and he asked the same question. "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm creating beautiful stones. Look how perfect they are. I'm going to be the best stonecutter in the world." And the man then asked the third stonecutter, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm building a cathedral." You see, what my mom did for me all those years ago was one of countless lessons that I would learn that would build the foundation of the skills that I would need to persevere in life. Lessons that I would not understand the importance of until decades later. And such is the nature of persistence. It takes time, it takes patience, and it takes a belief that it all will make a difference in the end. Sometimes we are tired. Sometimes we are doubtful and maybe frustrated with the lack of the immediate results of our work and efforts. But we are strong and we will persist together. We are making a difference and we are having an impact. May it be so. Amen. Blessed be. I now invite you to join me in singing our closing hymn, 168, One More Step. That's hymn number 168 in the gray hymnal. One more step. Please rise as you are able.
It has become our practice to pose a question at the end of the service based on the theme. If you'd like to delve deeper into this question, we invite you to join us coffee hour Tuesday night at 5 for Zoom. Please contact the office if you need the link. And our question this week is, where'd she go?
What is something that you struggle to be persistent with? What is something that you struggle to be persistent with?
Yay. So I'll end with these closing words. I really appreciate Leigh's thoughts on persistence, that it takes courage, takes time, takes patience. Our efforts are sometimes the foundation for something bigger way down the road. And it got me thinking of when we need persistence. We all have plans, pursuits, passions. We also all deal with unexpected events, losses, things we don't foresee. We step up, we fall down, we rest up, we get up, maybe giddy up, or maybe with a little more sane pace and a little grace, we move on. Take our time to find our way. I wish all of us persistence to get through our challenges and to get to our aspirations. Perseverance to knock down and also to build up, create new possibilities. As we age, as I age, we're all aging, we may ponder our legacy, the lessons, the values we pass on to our descendants. We learn to trust the younger ones to make changes we wish for and changes we can't even dream of beyond the bend of our lives. Our intention, our influence will continue, but at another time, another place, maybe a whole nother way. I invite us, I dare us to be brave, to believe in our own and each other's positive potential, and persist both in our struggles and our dreams. May it be so. Amen and blessed be.